Hello student! Welcome to part 2 of this lesson on narrative writing. In part 1 on narrative writing, we looked at some techniques that you could use so as to make your story pleasant to read. In this lesson, we are going to look at 3 parts that your narrative writing should have. In narrative writing is a fictional story. A story usually has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let's start with the beginning of the narrative writing. The beginning is the introduction in your story. Here, you introduce your characters, the world they live in, and the problem they are facing. While writing the introduction, keep in mind to give the following information: when and where the story takes place, who are involved in the story, what problem they are facing. Note: avoid having too many characters, as it can be difficult for your reader to distinguish between them. Let's take this topic. The princess has been kidnapped by a sorcerer. Tell the story about how you help save her. Let's see some ways in which you could start your story. Remember to introduce the 3 aspects: when and where, who are involved, and what the problem is. You may start your story with a vivid description.
The sun was warm on my back as I raced towards the sorcerer. Princess Yoko had been warned not to venture in the forest alone, but she never listened to anyone. The sorcerer held Yoko in a tight grip.
Or you might want to begin with a question.
Have you ever had a day when you wished you had stayed in bed? As I rushed towards the place from where the hysterical shouts of Princess Yoko came, I had no idea what awaited me. Princess Yoko had been warned not to venture in the garden, but she rarely listened to anyone.
You could also start with an interesting fact.
I stood dumbfounded in the royal gardens as I saw the sorcerer disappear with the princess in a puff of smoke. Never before had I witnessed such magic.
You may start with sound effects.
Poof! The sound echoed in my ears as I struggled to see through the smoke. The princess had been warned not to leave her room, but no one would have guessed that the sorcerer could appear and disappear as he wished.
You may want to start with a dialogue.
"Wake up, you stupid knight!" shouted Princess Yoko as she kicked my sleepy body awake. Confused, I opened my eyes and was shocked to see the sorcerer dragging the princess through the open window. I couldn't move my body.
A quick reminder. We looked at different ways you can start your narrative composition. You can start with a vivid description, or a question, or an interesting fact, or sound effects, or a dialogue. After having seen the beginning or introduction, let's now look at the middle of the story. Here, in your narrative writing, there is an attempt to resolve the problem already identified in the introduction. You reveal how you overcame the problem. The last part of the story is the ending. This is where everything goes back to normal. Tell your readers how the resolution of the conflict or conflicts has affected the characters. Note, do not introduce any new character or idea. Don't always wake up from a dream. So, in this lesson, we have seen the 3 parts that are required when you write your story. That is, a narrative composition. The beginning is where you introduce the characters, set the scene, and set up the problem. The middle is the part where the hero has to deal with the problem. The end is where the characters sort out the problem, or maybe not, and the story ends. Remember to make your narrative writing exciting to read. Use all throughout your story the techniques we looked at in part 1, namely, the way you start your story. Using a lively narrative voice. Using dialogue. Using sensory details. Proper use of paragraphs. Appropriate vocabulary. Varying the length of sentences. And varying the way you start your sentences. Now, try this topic. The princess has been kidnapped by a sorcerer. Tell the story about how you help save her. The notes and tips in the 2 lessons on narrative writing will help you create a nice story. Enjoy writing! Goodbye!